Hello, Reds fans. Welcome to the YNWA Transfer News Channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for your daily latest news.
Fabrizio Romano delivers major Alexander Isak update as Liverpool transfer plot thickens. With less than 2 weeks until the transfer window closes, many of Europe's biggest clubs are looking to push deals though with incomings and outgoings. In the latest episode of DAZN Transfer by Fabrizio Romano, the leading football journalist and transfer specialist provides an update on all the potential deals in the market. Alexander Isak. The Sweden international wants to leave Newcastle United and join Premier League champions Liverpool. The Reds have had a bid turned down, but Romano said, Alexander Isak only wants to play for Liverpool. He has told Newcastle, I'm not going to sign a new contract, I'm not interested in a new deal. Newcastle are looking for another striker, and my expectation is that Liverpool will try again for Alexander. Eberechi's. Tottenham Hotspur have been in negotiations with Crystal Palace over a deal to sign Eberechi's. Romano gave the transfer an 85% chance of going through and added, Ease could sign for Tottenham after talks between Steve Parish and Daniel Levy. Spurs will really push for that because he wants to play Champions League football. Manchester United, outgoings expected and needed. Ruben Amorim is writing a new chapter at Old Trafford and remains keen to clear the decks by shifting out unwanted players. That list includes Jadon Sancho, Rasmus Højlund and Alejandro Garnacho, and Romano said, Sancho is completely out of the project at Manchester United, but he said no to a proposal from Roma. He's a player who has to leave, and Rasmus Højlund was not even in the squad for the Arsenal game, and the message from Amorim is very clear. He's on the list of AC Milan and has been for a long time, while Napoli are also looking for a striker now because Romelu Lukaku has suffered an injury. Several clubs are interested in Højlund, and Alejandro Garnacho is leaving Manchester United and going to Chelsea. There are more players expected to leave, and with Antony, we know the situation with Betis, but it's not an easy deal. United remain keen on Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba, but Romano revealed, Brighton said the player is not for sale, but Ruben Amorim loves Baleba, so I think they will try and sign him in 2026. Donnarumma for City? Manchester City continue to be linked with Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma, with the transfer hinging on Ederson potentially moving to Galatasaray. Romano explained, Donnarumma will leave Paris Saint-Germain this summer. His relationship with them is completely broken. Manchester City are on it, and he's attracted by this opportunity to work with Pep Guardiola. What is needed to make this deal happen is for Ederson to go to Galatasaray. The plan was to sign Donnarumma as a free agent in 2026, but City have always been interested in him. If City sell Ederson to Galatasaray, I expect them to go for Donnarumma now. Savinho still a Tottenham target as Pep monitors Rodrigo. The Brazilian has been linked with a move from Manchester City to Spurs, with Thomas Frank a huge admirer of the 21-year-old. Meanwhile, City boss Pep Guardiola is keeping a close eye on Rodrigo's situation at Real Madrid. Romano said, Tottenham are trying to make this deal happen for Savinho. It's difficult, and Tottenham have already had a few bids rejected. City said no, but let's see what happens and whether it could have a domino effect on the market. If Savinho leaves, the player City want to sign is Rodrigo. Pep Guardiola loves Rodrigo, and I can guarantee that, if Savinho leaves, City will go for Rodrigo. How to watch the Premier League in Canada. Soccer fans in Canada can watch every Premier League match during the 2025-26 season on DAZN. With Fubo Sports on DAZN, Canadians can catch Premier League action as well as Serie A. Additionally, DAZN is the home of the UEFA Champions League, UEFA Europa League, UEFA Conference League, Bundesliga and more. Liverpool transfer could be scuppered by Arsenal as replacement plan lined up. Liverpool's move for Crystal Palace captain Marc Gaye could be impacted if Arsenal decide to swoop for young French star Jeremy Xhaka. The 20-year-old is reportedly the player that Palace are considering as a replacement for England international Gaye. Palace are open to selling Gaye this summer. The 25-year-old, who appeared to have a minor spat with Eagles boss Oliver Glasner this weekend, is into the final 12 months of his contract. The two clubs have been in talks over a deal to take the player to Anfield, but there is believed to be a £10 million difference in Gaye's valuation. Rumours suggest Liverpool are willing to offer £35 million, yet Palace are insisting on £45 million, despite the risk of the club losing him for free next summer. As with the ongoing Alexander Isak to Liverpool saga, and in a summer dictated by the domino effect of clubs needing to bring players in before sanctioning outgoings, it's thought that Palace will want to tie down a replacement before Gaye departs. This is due to how little time there is left in the transfer window and with Palace's system requiring 3 central defenders at the back. Gaye was in the starting lineup for the Eagles' 0-0 draw with Chelsea on Sunday, but they reportedly have a contingency in the form of Rennes star Jacquet. However, Arsenal also registered their interest in the young Frenchman earlier in the summer. If Palace were to act on their interest in Jacquet, as reported by The Independent, then Arsenal's hand could be forced, resulting in Palace possibly losing their replacement and having to keep Gaye at Selhurst Park. While Arsenal were thought to be earmarking Jacquet for next season, there is a reality where the Gunners secure him now, amid Palace's interest, and loan him back to France, just as they did with William Saliba. He had 3 loan spells in his home country before becoming a regular for Mikel Arteta and one of the Premier League's most reliable defenders. The 20-year-old Jacquet is the latest French starlet to emerge from the Bondy region of Paris, which has given way to talents such as Kylian Mbappé over the years. Arsenal could consider the young centre-back as defensive cover should Oleksandr Zinchenko and Jakub Kiwior leave the Emirates Stadium this summer. Another sticking point in Gaye making a move to Anfield is Rennes' insistence that Jacquet, who signed a new contract back in May, is not for sale this summer. The French club reportedly consider him to be an important player for the future, and hope he can continue his development in League One. Speaking on the futures of Gaye and Eberechi, who is closing in on a move to Tottenham Hotspur, Glasner claimed his players are currently committed to the South London club. EBS and Mark, there has been a lot of noise about these two players in the last week, he said to Match of the Day. Everyone could see the performances against Liverpool, and today, they were 100% aligned with this team and Crystal Palace. Meanwhile, Liverpool are reportedly waiting on Newcastle to recruit a centre-forward before returning with a second bid for Isak. Brentford's Yoane Wissa is thought to be a primary target for Eddie Howe, but the Bees are blocking a move as they bid to sign reinforcements before letting him leave. Federico Chiesa transfer latest as Italian star decides on Liverpool future. After netting his first Premier League goal on Friday, Federico Chiesa has voiced his intention to remain at Liverpool. The Italian winger struggled for game time in a debut season marred by injuries, sparking rumors of an early departure from Anfield. Chiesa clocked just 104 minutes in the league last season after becoming the first player signed by Arne Slot to make his debut for the club. He failed to score during that time, but found the back of the net in the Carabao Cup final and in an FA Cup victory over Accrington Stanley. The summer exits of Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez have created a vacancy on the left flank, with speculation over Alexander Isak joining from Newcastle. Cody Gakpo was given the nod for the Premier League opener against Bournemouth, with Florian Wirtz shifting left when Gakpo moved centrally following the substitution of starting striker Hugo Ekitike. When Bournemouth equalised, Slot called upon Chiesa, introducing him in place of record signing Wirtz with 8 minutes remaining. It took him just 5 minutes to put Liverpool back in front, calmly volleying home amid chaos in the visitors' box, with Mohamed Salah adding a late fourth for Liverpool in injury time. Despite interest from Napoli in January, Chiesa chose to stay at Anfield, and there have been whispers that renewed interest from Serie A could tempt him away this summer. However, reports from Europe suggest that the player and his agent have made it clear to Liverpool's top brass that he has no intention of leaving, a shift from his stance earlier in the transfer window. As long as he is here, his future is definitely at Liverpool, and I have no reason to believe it is going to change, Slot said after Friday's win. The fans sung for him so many times last season, and it is very nice for him to give them something in return. Chiesa himself spoke of the support from the home crowd leading up to his goal, saying, "Above all, at Anfield it seems like in the second half when you attack towards the Kop, It feels like the ball wants to go inside the net. It's not just Slot who has been pleased to see Chiesa reap the rewards of a year of patience. The 27-year-old is popular in the dressing room and received praise from his teammates after Friday's win. "He works so hard, he's a great character, we all love him," Captain Virgil van Dijk said. "Very pleased for him. Especially on a night like this where there are so many things in everyone's mind, after the tributes to Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, because I can't escape that. I'm pleased for him, pleased for the team. For Federico today coming from the bench, he's a special player for us who is there training every day." Goalkeeper Alisson said of Chiesa, "Everybody knows his situation was not that easy in the summer, but he kept working hard and today he gets the reward for scoring the winner for us. Arne Slot already has striker who can't stop scoring amid Alexander Isak chase. The new season has brought a fresh wave of optimism, but it was a weekend of mixed results for Liverpool's academy teams under their new head coaches. The U18 team kicked off its Premier League North campaign with a resounding 5-1 victory over Stoke City on Saturday. However, the U21 team, now led by former Wales manager Rob Page, suffered a 4-2 defeat at Leicester City in its first Premier League 2 match of the season on Monday. Despite the loss, there were some encouraging signs for Page's team, notably another goal from Jadon Danns. The 19-year-old's goal comes as Liverpool looks to bolster its forward line in the transfer market. Alexander Isak continues to be linked with the Reds, yet Danns is doing all he can to remind Arne Slot of his ability. The teenager is gradually regaining his match fitness after a lengthy absence due to a stress fracture in his back. Danns sparked hopes of a Liverpool comeback at Leicester when he scored 4 minutes into the second half. That goal reduced the deficit to 2-1 after Michael Golding and Nathaniel Opoku had given the home side a 2-goal lead at the break. However, any hopes of a turnaround were quickly extinguished as Golding and Opoku both found the net again. Liverpool did manage to pull another goal back late on through Michael Laffey, but it was too little, too late. Meanwhile, the U18 team enjoyed a more successful outing under new boss Simon Wiles, with 17-year-old Joe Bradshaw playing a starring role in the emphatic win at Stoke. Bradshaw, who was the top scorer for the U18s last season and signed his first professional contract in the summer, set up DJ Estelle for the opening goal before doubling Liverpool's lead with a superb free-kick. Josh Sonny Lambie scored an extraordinary goal from the halfway line after Stoke goalkeeper Lucas Knight was caught out of position, and substitute Finn Inglethorpe found the net with his first touch. Stoke managed to pull one back through a header from Tommy McNally at a corner, but home defender Sanchez Phillips inadvertently put the ball into his own net, rounding off the scoring. Liverpool U21s will next face Burnley at Kirkby on Monday, while the U18 players are set to travel to the Clarets on Saturday, August 30th. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.